One evening, I was at home. I got totally overwhelmed. There was no cash flow. I'd promised my investors money. I was putting my daughter into a new school. I really figured out that I'm not doing it right. I could have been one of the best business coaches in teaching the theory, but I'm certainly not eating my cooking.
You're listening to The Functional Founder with Themistocles Stergianos, a podcast for owner-operators ready to build high-performance teams, handle growth with confidence, and scale without burning out.
Hey, functional founders, great time of the week again. We get to talk about growing your business, growing my business, to work profitably without us, which has been the nemesis of my life. It's a bit of background as a coach, business coach, traveled the world every year to go and learn from the best in the world to try and get businesses to work without us. And I fell in love with the concept in 2009. And since then, I've been pursuing the ultimate, which is getting a business to work profitably without me. Started off coaching entrepreneurs, the concept, really trying to apply it to the past businesses that I had. Struggled to convey that message with eviction because I hadn't mastered it physically. Fast forward from 2009 to where we are. Wow, it's quite a journey, and I'm still learning. In between that time, I've business coached thousands of entrepreneurs. It'd be on one-on-one coaching or on Zoom sessions, and really getting to learn from them because they are ultimately my best teachers. And recently applying it in the business endeavors that I have. The current ones that I'm going to talk about today is a company called LabWorks. LabWorks has got 3 divisions. It's got the roofing. It's got a roofing division. It's got pools, and it's got waterproofing. And ultimately, these sessions we talk about growing our business to work profitably without us. The word profitable, meaning that, we have to generate revenue. And then from the revenue, we need to deduct our expenses. We've got a net profit. And that's how we can live with that net profit, right? And it's been an interesting journey when I started my waterproofing business in 2017 and learning that it's not as easy being an entrepreneur again. I was an entrepreneur. I had a few businesses, from Debonair's Pizzas, quite a few of them actually, and quite a few, 2 of them, and also a couple of other business, real estate agency businesses, property, online businesses. But really focusing, since I've left my coaching to pursue growing my own businesses, really focusing on LabWorks to make that my prototype so that I can help entrepreneurs build other businesses, so I can create a legacy for my family and for the people that work for me, is that I want to grow that business profitably to work without me. And I can say with eviction that we're almost there. We're not altogether there, but we are almost there. So where are we now, guys? Well, while I'm talking to you on this podcast, we are generating leads. It's going out of fashion. And it wasn't always that way. In fact, for most of our businesses, we've booked out until next year, and we're squeezing in the odd lead every now and again. But it wasn't always this way. I struggled when I started this business again. Started this business from scratch. In fact, I started from my garage. And it's quite a challenge because as entrepreneurs, we all start with an opportunity. And let me just go back there a second. What was the opportunity? The opportunity was, while I was business coaching, I was also renovating my home. And I realized that there was a gap in the market for flat roof waterproofing because my flat roof leaked. I was hell of a frustrated because no matter who I could get in to helped me, just couldn't help me. And eventually I had to find my own system. And since I put my own system in, it's not leaking anymore. But it's cost me thousands and thousands of rands fixing the roof, fixing the damage underneath the roof, repainting, replastering, damaging the walls, damaging the structure, causing um, the rebar inside the wall to rust, repainting again, and having my wife at my neck all the time saying, you chose to build a flat roof. Okay, so long story short, I found a system and we've applied that system successfully in South Africa. We've been going for a couple of years now. We're distributing and we're installing. But that's not what I want to tell you about. What I do want to discuss with you that most entrepreneurs pursue an opportunity. I climbed up Lion's Head in Cape Town. I looked down at all the flat roofs and I saw there was an opportunity to waterproof these flat roofs. And surely these people have leaks. And that's what sent me on this pursuit. And we all do that as entrepreneurs. We find an opportunity somewhere, may it be default or by accident. That's how we pursue ventures. And then I want to talk about how to grow your business profitably without you. Because when you start the business, there is absolutely no ways the business can work without you. And definitely not profitably. You might hit occasions and pockets of profit, but it's certainly not going to be a business that works without you initially. So what happened to me? When I started this business, I decided, okay, I've got a good product. I'm going to attack the market. I think we can add value. Let me go and look at my, like they call it the roller index, or look at my contacts list. So then it was all in Gmail. I would download all that into a spreadsheet and I'd isolate who I could contact and send them emails, etc. But at the end of the day, it's still dependent on me to bring in those leads. Okay. So there came a time when I exhausted my contacts list and I was probably irritating a lot of people. And I really said to myself, there's no ways I can carry on like this, because what happened was I just ran dry of leads. There was 1 month because I couldn't focus on contacting all these people, meeting for breakfast, meeting for coffee, emailing. I just couldn't do it all. Why? Because as entrepreneurs, we wear so many hats in our businesses, from admin to marketing to sales to strategic development to self-development to IT. The printer breaks. We've got to do that. To negotiating with suppliers, to, dealing with complaints, to firing staff and hiring staff, looking for premises where you can host your business. It's endless. It's endless. To social media marketing as well. That's a big one. Now, you can't do all of that. It's impossible to do all of that and successfully operate a business that works profitably without you. And I'm talking about the profitable side right now. If we want to generate sales and we take our expenses off and then we got net profit, but then when the leads run dry, you've got to stop all the stuff that you're doing, take off all those hats, and then focus on marketing again. So one evening, I was at home. I got totally, totally overwhelmed. There was no cash flow. I'd promised my investors money. I was putting my daughter into a new school. I really figured out that I'm not doing it right. I could have been one of the best business coaches in teaching the theory, but I'm certainly not eating my cooking. In fact, I was bringing up. I was bringing up from eating my own cooking. And heck, it was difficult to let those hats down and focus on building the marketing, or focus on marketing. But what I did do is the very next day, I said to myself, I'm going to build a system. What is that system that can work for me? And I want to share that system with you, because since I've implemented that system, it's very high level and we can dig deep about it. Please drop comments. I'm happy to go into each area with you in a bit more detail. But let's just discuss that system, because that system has given me so many leads that I don't know what to do with them. Okay, I'm in construction, specialized construction right now with roofs, pools, and waterproofing. And those three businesses are slowly filling up so fast that I have a resource problem. And it's really turned the opposite way. I've got too many. I don't have a problem generating leads in my company. In fact, I can explode most companies with leads using the system. So what's the system, guys? The system is, number one, decide on who your avatar is. And I'm going to dig deep into that then with you. Number two is understand your marketing strategy, okay, that you will be talking to or using to get hold of these people or messaging these avatars. Number three would be, what was the third one? The third one would be understanding which platform you're going to be using to market to your avatar. Number four would be your test and measure. Okay. Your test and measure, measuring the outcome so that you can get a return on investment. Okay. So let's start with the avatar. Number one, that's the first system. So it's a few, that's the first strategy. Excuse me. There's a few strategies that make up the system. Number one is the avatar. Who is the avatar? Now let's just unpack that quickly. Let's just deal with that. We want to generate leads. And I have many people ask me, what is a lead? In my interpretation, a lead is someone that responds off your marketing activity, number one. Number two, understand the marketing lingo of what a prospect is. A prospect, in my language, are individuals out there that could use your services, but they haven't responded to your marketing activity. So those are prospects. So first we have a prospect. If you think about a ladder, you have a prospect on top, and that's usually quite broad. And then you limit that to your leads, and that's usually a little bit more narrow. Qualify those leads, and then you get a client. Okay, those three areas of the ladder. And it's almost like a funnel ladder, if you think it from big to small. So the avatar, in my case, was we decided that it was a frustrated landlord. And why are they frustrated? Because I was hoping to target a niche. If I appeal to what every waterproofer is looking for, I'm going to get I'm going to get every result that every waterproofer or contractor gets out there. And I don't want to be an everyone. I want to focus on a niche. So I had to figure out what my avatar's frustrations were. So understanding which prospects are out there that have frustration, number one. Part of the avatar, I need to understand that they all have flat roofs. Okay, so which of those prospects out there have flat roofs? And then breaking that avatar down even further is saying, do they have money to spend on my service? I've got a premium product. I don't want to be marketing to individuals that don't have cash flow. So that could be my reason for targeting a different geographic. I could be targeting different geographics in my neighborhood. I want to focus on a specific target market that is frustrated, that has a flat roof, and that has cash to buy this investment for their flat roof. And number four, I would say geographically, what can I handle? So logistically, my company in the construction game it's very logistic. In fact, I tell my team all the time, we are not a waterproofing, roofing, and pooling company. We are a logistics company that happens to do waterproofing, pools, and roofs. We happen to be doing that. So logistically, can we cater for a market if they're in Johannesburg and we in Cape Town? No, we're just not there yet. So let's understand my market right now is Cape Town. And number five would be breaking that down even further, would be, do I want to go commercial waterproofing or do I want to go domestic? Now, there are many reasons why we chose to go domestic, but what I'm appealing to is not the fact that we went domestic. What I am appealing to is that we're cutting down or narrowing down our avatar very specific. We are very clear what their frustrations are. We understand that they need to have a flat roof. We understand that they need to have cash to be able to spend on us. We understand that it's geographically the domestic market that we're focusing on, Cape Town. And we also understand, Cape Town, and we also understand that the market needs to be domestic and not commercial. So we've kind of broken it down. So when we focus on step two, and this is part of the system, is this step two would be understanding your message. What is your message that you need to craft to this target market? And I won't go through them again, but obviously you need to speak in tongue that appeals to a frustrated landlord and all those other things that I mentioned. Okay. For example, if you talk about domestic, if we're going to be doing the commercial market, our messaging is completely different. Our platforms are completely different. So we speak in a different dialect and different tongue when we talk to the domestic market, because we know and understand the domestic market has serious challenges. For instance, we have to make sure that our people are tested for drugs and all those alcohol, and that they've been trained, and that they don't have a criminal record, so that we can send them into a domestic home. So that's part of the marketing message. That has to be part of the marketing in our case. And we can dig down deep on all of those areas. But the marketing message is the second point. And we're also appealing to the frustrations that they have. That means when we write the copy of the advert that we're doing, may it be in Facebook or LinkedIn or Google AdWords or SEO, we're appealing to those elements of our avatar. So that is the message. Number three is we need to understand what platform we're going to be marketing on. So in my view, there are various lead generation strategies that you can appeal to a group of prospects to become leads. And those lead generation strategies, there's so many of them, from advertising in magazines to all the social media elements that I've mentioned, including LinkedIn and Twitter and, all those different media strategies can be applied. The idea is to find out which top three are going to generate me the most leads the quickest. And I love the Pareto principle. I mean, you could identify probably 150 or more lead generation strategies. And I'm happy to send you a copy of, the lead generation strategies that we have tried. But there are more than 100 of them out there that I can guarantee you will generate you leads from the prospects. The idea is not to do them all. The idea is to focus on one, two, or three of them. In fact, I would even go one if I have to. And make sure that you master that one properly. Okay, so in our strategy, we decided to go for Facebook, which is meta ads. And the simple reason for that being is only because I understood it. When we were in lockdown, I made it my job to understand how to advertise on Facebook marketing or Facebook meta ads, which is now meta ads. I understood it. And because we're going to the domestic market, how easy is it to appeal to the domestic market? And that would be a strategy. Little did I find out that I was going in blindly. I was learning how to advertise. I got all these leads, but I weren't getting qualified leads because I didn't have my system. But once I started redeveloping the system, I started realizing I am actually developing good leads from prospects that are bringing money into the business without me having to be there all the time, without me exhausting my network, because it's going to happen like it happened with me, the boom to bust. So meta ads might be one strategy. The other strategy might be SEO. And we found that in our business, that SEO is a good strategy to invest in. Takes a long time to come through, but it works because people are searching for a problem. Their flat roof is leaking. And when their flat roof is leaking, they're not going to go to Facebook. They're going to go straight to, that's right, Google. And they're going to go and search under Google to go and find that specific business that can help them with their flat roof. So we want to do master SEO. So in our case, it was Facebook and it was the SEO and Google AdWords. We started playing with much down the line, actually. And then the third area, the third element of the social media platform, or the platform that we chose to market, was WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp groups in communities are very, very well used in our country. So people would say, I'm looking for a community, I'm looking for a good waterproofer in my neighborhood. Can you recommend someone? And they would recommend our company and we would follow up that way. So that's just an idea on the social media platforms, or the different platforms that we could be marketing at. And then the fourth one, remember I said there was 4 areas of the system. The fourth area, you need to get dialed in on your test and measure. And your test and measure, what I mean by that is, if a lead comes in and they're spending 100,000 Rand with you, I want to make sure that I'm making a 3 times return on that investment. Meaning that they've got to generate me 300,000 Rand in revenue, not in revenue, in gross profit. So if you're running a 50% gross profit, then we would need to do 600. I'm just giving an example. We're not running 50, but if we were, it would be 600,000 Rand in revenue. The 50% gross profit would give me 300,000. I've spent 100,000 Rand on social media. Therefore, I'm making a return on ad spend 3 times, or 300%. It's the same as framing it like this. Take 100,000 Rand and put it into the bank. And a month or two later, the bank is giving you 300,000 Rand back. That's a 300,000 Rand return. So we build our engine, which is our business, to make sure that we applying the 4 strategies in marketing, which is my avatar marketing strategy for LabWorks. We apply that religiously and with intention, and we've got focus on each of those strategies. In other words, we're saying 20% of activity must give us 80% of the result of that strategy. I hope that makes sense. So when it comes to the avatar, and we talk about all those elements that we appeal to in that strategy, is that we need to make sure that we're focusing on 20% of, say, for instance, we're dealing with frustrations. If there are 10 frustrations, we focus on 20% of those 10, which is 2 of them, that we know will give us 80% of result. We'll get 80% reaction out of a client. Much like the marketing lead generation strategies, we'll say out of the 100, we're going to start focusing on 20%. They're going to bring us 80% return. So we want to get to 20. So we start off with 1, we master it, we move to 2, we move to 3, until we've got 20% of those 100 lead generation strategies that are working perfectly for us. Not perfect, but it'll never work perfect. It just doesn't happen. But I can tell you one thing, that your business does start generating leads without you needing to be there. And that's encouraging, because I can switch it off and I can switch it on like I want right now. And as the business grows, we cannot find enough installers to help us build our flat roof waterproofing systems, or apply our flat roof waterproofing systems. It's same with our pools. We booked until the end of the year, and we can't find anyone to install right now. So we have got to look at our social media strategy. I can tap it down or I can increase it. So when times are tough again and there's a bit of issue, I've got my campaigns running. I've tested and measured them. I know which ones to crank up. So I hope that makes sense, guys. On the last point of test and measure, I also want to appeal to you that if you can build a business that tests and measure all your lead generation strategies that come through, you will increase your revenue of more than 20%. The statistic is out there. I love it. I've seen it with ourselves. We have built numerous businesses now where we've got online marketing strategies that we can test and measure. And we are test and measuring everything. So we know this specific campaign where we focused on that frustration with the client has yielded us a 3 times return on investment, call it ROAS, return on ad spend. And we can dig deep on that. Comment below if you want to know more information on how we go about generating high return on investment spends on our adverts, and I'd love to share that with you. Guys, that's all we have for today. But I want to just stress as well that I want to appeal to everyone today that if you can apply those 4 strategies in your business, you will build a profitable business that will eventually work without you. Number 1, start with your avatar. If your avatar is not correct, those other 4 will not work. So that's the pillar. Understanding who your client is gives you tremendous focus and direction in your business. Thank you for listening to The Functional Founder. I'll see you next week. If there's value that you got out of this session, please like and share this with a like-minded entrepreneur like yourself, because we want to grow this community and make a difference to those entrepreneurs that are suffering out there. They need help, and they need our help. And I need your help to share the message to our bigger community. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining The Functional Founder. This podcast grows through you, our founder community. Please share this with someone who needs it and click on the subscribe button. That way, more people can join us.